Welcome to Across the Park podcast, the only place you can hear banter and debate from both sides of Stanley Park, whether it be blue or red. Sponsored by Their Clothing, Camper Kings UK, and affiliation with BetMate.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Across the Park podcast, our second episode of the week, and this is Game On. As just a bit of a welcome relief for the Blues, we won't be talking any current affairs on this episode, so it's all about trivia. I've tried my best to keep current affairs out of the trivia as well, but I couldn't help myself, unfortunately. So we've got Higher or Lower, which we're going to kick the show off with. That will be presented by Gary Murray, one of the Reds, and then we've got a look back in history. So this week in history, we'll be looking back to again, as for new viewers or for new listeners, we'll be looking back to a certain year in history, which happens exactly this week. So the Blues we'll be looking back at a previous Merseyside derby, I believe, Pricey. And the Reds, I'm not sure what is this both of us? We're both looking at that this week?
It might be the same if we're looking at the same one, because we've got a Merseyside derby as well.
So it's a mystery. It's a mystery. This week in history is a mystery. So we're going to start with Higher or Lower then, Gary. So if you want to explain the rules before we kick off for any new viewers or listeners.
Yeah, so we've basically got 3 that are for Everton and 3 for Liverpool. I'll pose the Everton questions first to Terry. He'll get a chance to give his answer before the Blues, because the Blues are more likely to know the answer, and then vice versa. I'll give all the red ones to the Blues and then back to Terry to answer them. I'll start off with the Blues, so I'll go to Terry first. It's Nathan Patterson has recently signed for Everton for a reported 12.6 million, according to Transfer Market anyway, so don't pull me on the exact numbers if it's wrong. Was Funes Mori higher or lower transfer fee?
I don't even think Everton know.
Kia knows.
Yeah. 12 mil. I'm going to say lower. I reckon he's about 9 mil.
Okay, over to the Blues.
I think it was lower, but only marginally. I think it was 11.75.
Go on, I'll go with that. I don't know. I wouldn't know what he was, so I'm happy to go with you, Judge.
5, yeah, I think it is lower, but marginally.
It is marginally. It was 11.61 Funes Mori.
Wasn't bad, that was it?
Very good guess.
Random transfer figure that though, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah. 6-1,
okay.
Yeah, where's the 6-1 come from? It's weird, that.
If we move over to, I've done a squad number here. So in 2000-2001, Abel Xavier was number 28 for Everton. In 12-13, was Velios higher or lower? Squad number.
I think
He's on us first.
Sorry, it's Terry first, isn't
it? Velios doesn't even know who he is. What number was Xavier?
28.
Yeah, well, Velios higher. He must have been about 62 or something.
Velios was number 27.
Was he?
Yeah.
Bang on the money, yeah, correct. 1-0.
You know what his squad numbers like?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I tried to go for a bit of an obscure one.
Program every week. Still.
Okay, and then this is final points in the league for different seasons. So in 98-99, Everton finished on 43 points. In 2000-2001, did they finish higher or lower amount of points?
So it was 2 seasons later. Did you say
Terry first?
Oh, sorry.
Terry's first, isn't he?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry, you say that, yeah.
2000-2001, did Everton finish above 43 points?
Or lower?
No, higher.
Higher than 43.
It was both Walter Smith, wasn't it? Hal Kendall left in 97-98.
Yeah.
That's when Walter Smith come in, wasn't it? Obviously, it's going to be close, isn't it? Trying to think.
43 is quite a low figure, though, isn't it? I can't remember us scraping relegation.
No, that's one thing I do remember. I mean, we were always close, maybe going into the last 10 games. But Smith never had us in the last game of the season dogfight.
No.
But again, 40 wasn't always the magic number. Sometimes low, wasn't it? Because there's some poor sides around then.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sunderland was 02-03 when they got the lowest points tally ever, I think, in the Premier League.
But I remember you being closer to going down, like around more them couple of seasons under Moyes, where you finished like 17th and that, or 16th and 17th.
Yeah. We were always around 15th to 17th, but we were never. It was never like a last minute dash. We were always, as Judge said, we were always safe.
A few games to spare.
Safe with a few games to go. Yeah, they were the days, actually, weren't they?
I'll give this one to you because I point here or there.
And we're just thinking, just going off, not what I think, but Gary's thinking behind it. I'll go lower.
You were right to go that way. 42 points, 1 point less. I actually went on the next season, and that was 43 as well. So you have 43, 43, 42.
Consistent.
Good job having got that as a true or false that we got the same number of points over a couple of seasons.
Yeah. Okay, so over to the Liverpool questions. It's that's 2-0 to Everton then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Liverpool signed Simon Mignolet for a reported 9.54 million in 2013-14. Was Didi Hamann higher or lower transfer fee in 99-2000?
I'll go lower. I think he was 8.5 million. Hamann, from my memory.
I thought he was over 10 million, but yeah, I'll go with you. That's fine.
Back in that time, you wouldn't have got many players over 10 million in those.
Yeah, you're right. You're probably right.
Honestly, 8.5 million is I think what we did sign him for. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say as well, lower. That sticks in my head.
Right first time. 10.8 million is the reported fee.
I was going to say 10.5 to be honest, but
Didi Hamann, yeah.
That seems a lot for back then.
Yeah, I was surprised at that. Yeah. Okay, so squad numbers again. I'll go Emiliano Insua in 08-09 was number 22. Was Nick Barmby higher or lower squad number?
Nick Barmby was 20.
Yeah, I think he was 20. Yeah, I think he was 20.
Number 20.
So lower.
Barmby was lower.
Yeah, I'll say lower. I'm trying to remember from like the goals and like I always seem to remember him in that yellow and blue kit, and that sort of amber and blue, navy blue kit that we had. Go on, I'll say lower. I don't actually know off the top of my head.
Judgy banged on the money again, number 20. Okay, and the final one, another points total. In 01-02, Liverpool finished on 80 points. Was 08-09 higher points total or lower points total? The Blues first.
So he was their manager in 08.
01-02, Gary?
01-02 was 80 points.
That was
08-09 higher or lower?
Houllier, wasn't it?
Yeah. I haven't got a clue on this one. I'd have to.
08-09. So Houllier, was it Houllier? Yeah, because they won that 02 when they won like the UEFA Cup and all that.
That was 01.
01. Cheers, Terry.
None of the treble, didn't we? Well, like the cup competitions in 2001. But you said 02, didn't you, Gary?
01-02.
Can't even remember their team in 08-09, to be honest. 08-09 was the season we got to the final against Chelsea, wasn't it? The FA Cup final. We had like
what was the season where they finished second?
That was Brendan Rodgers, 2014.
Oh, but didn't Benitez finish second as well, though?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
That press conference where he was saying fact and all that, and everyone was buzzing off him. Was that year? I don't know. It's the guess.
Probably around that, yeah. I'll go 80's a big total, isn't it? No, I don't think they got. I think what was it? Higher or lower? I think that 08-09 was lower.
I think it was higher. I think it was higher. I think it was 83 or 84.
It was higher. It was 86 points. Both seasons we finished second.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that finished 3-2 to the Blues.
So as Millsy always says, get Z cars on if you're Evertonian, hopefully in a mixed household, so you can wind your partner up or your children or dad or uncle.
Wind your children up. Nice, that.
It's all we get these days, Gary.
Liverpool fans will be buzzing off you.
Take your victories while you can.
You've still got a chance to claw it back potentially in true or false, and the tables will be reversed in the sense that it'll be 2 reds against 1 blue on that occasion. First of all, we're going to take a brief look back in history, and we're going to find out if it's exactly the same game we're covering. So, Pricey, don't you want to bring this in?
Yeah, so we're looking at Liverpool and Everton FA Cup 4th round, draw in Anfield. Is that what you got?
No.
What?
No.
Ours was much better for us.
I know. We get a draw in ours. So we get a draw in Anfield with buzzing. That's how we've done it. So it was a 1-1. Lescott scored for Everton and Gerrard scored for Liverpool. I think Gerrard's goal was a bit of a mistake from Tim Howard, if I remember it rightly. But it was 1-1. We played the previous week or at the weekend. We drew at Anfield and then we went back again and got another draw, 1-1, which brought it to a replay. I have to have a little look up on it, to be honest, before I could remind myself of the facts of the game. But it looks like it was an Everton masterclass, and Liverpool were lucky to get a draw by the looks of it. What do you remember, Judge?
The 2-2. Is this the 2-2? Did Dirk Kuyt score for them?
No, this is the 1-1. This Gerrard scored. If I remember the goal, like it went under Howard, like it sort of went under him a little bit, and they equalised after Lescott scored off a corner.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of draws around that time, didn't we, against Liverpool? But David Moyes, obviously, we didn't get any wins at Anfield, as just well documented for a while. But Liverpool generally struggled to get points at Goodison as well. But yeah, Lescott. I mean, it's probably a good time. I think we've covered Joleon Lescott forever. I don't think in this podcast. Like, what a player he was in terms of, just obviously versatile. We were speaking the weekend about Ben Godfrey coming in at left back, and obviously Lescott was a similar player, wasn't he, to Godfrey in terms of like dead physical, gets up and down, no nonsense and whatever. But he didn't half get some goals. I think there was one. I think it might have been that season actually, where I think he got 9 or 10 or something. Yeah,
he was brilliant. He was just a colossus in both penalty areas, wasn't he? I thought he was brilliant, Lescott. I really rate him on the ball. He weren't technically the best in that way, but as a defender, as you say, fast, aggressive, boss in the air, and yet scoring at the other end as well. I really liked Lescott. I thought he was one of the
people
best
forget
players.
as well. Leighton Baines didn't get a game for about a year to 18 months because Lescott was basically playing left back. Obviously, David Moyes preferred at the time. He was very much about keeping a solid base, wasn't he? And Lescott helped him do that. But Leighton Baines, obviously, arguably one of the best left backs in Everton's history, and he couldn't get a game because of Joleon Lescott. I think it took an injury, didn't it, before Lescott ended up going to centre back, and then Leighton Baines obviously came in. But
you just summed up Moyes as well. Lescott, that signing is like a proper Moyes signing where he's pulled him from. I know it's Wolves. It's not like he pulled them from the conference or anything, but the lower league, bringing them in, developing them as well. Because when he come in, he obviously got better while he was with us, developed him as a player, and then obviously sold him for a lot more than we brought him in for. There's that sell-on value as well. So yeah, I love Lescott. But yeah, I think this draw, the home game was the Gosling game, weren't it? When we won, so maybe we'll cover that on another day. But yeah, I mean, not often you get an FA Cup victory against Liverpool. So
no, I mean, you know what I remember most about that as well, like Van der Meijden coming on and making an impact, because he obviously was a divisive player to a certain extent. Obviously, Moyes didn't like him, did he? He almost made it public that he didn't like Van der Meijden. He wasn't his type of player anyway. Obviously very talented and was very capable, but didn't contribute a great deal, let's be honest, despite the fact that some Evertonians really liked him. But the ball into the box that he played for Gosling to obviously bring down and finish, it was at the park end as well. And he ran away to the Liverpool fans at first, didn't he? Because he didn't realise where he was. He turned away. Remember, he like takes it down. It was a great play from him, obviously, he puts in the foul. And he just turns away and instinctively runs away towards the Liverpool fans and then gets halfway there and realises it and runs to the park end.
Yeah. I think someone dragged him back, didn't he, when he was running? But I think that in that game, Gerrard came off early doors, didn't he? I remember Gerrard was injured and he came off early.
What game he was covering here? The 1-1 or the 1-0?
The 1-1, what did he say? We've already mentioned the 1-1, so we can go into the Goodison game, Gary. Come on. Gerrard came off early, give everyone a boost, and boss end of the game now.
I know. No, I think what's good about this week in history, and that's why I probably turn to Lescott, is it like you remember the game, and the games are the games, aren't they? But it's like players that kind of that you tend to recollect then and go, oh, what a player he was, and we don't speak about him as much. Before we do move on, and probably another player that's worth a mention that you just referred to then, Tim Howard. Obviously, a player who at times was almost, certainly his time at United, he was remembered for his mistakes, wasn't he? He still, unfortunately, made a few high-profile mistakes for us, but in general, again, what a signing he was.
Yeah, proper good servant to Everton as well, weren't he? Do you know what I mean? He's loyal. He's hardly ever injured. As you say, he made a few mistakes. But if you're watching a keeper week in, week out, you're going to pick up on the mistakes that they make. But he kept us in quite a few games, and he was a decent keeper, Howard, and he was there for a relatively successful period for us as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he got a goal as well.
Yeah.
Well, if we use that into a segue into our week in history, we're looking back into a game that he never kept us in 2014.
Didn't you cover this one last year? You can't do it again.
I don't know
this last year.
We've definitely brought this up loads because it's got what's become an infamous picture amongst our lads, which I've got just because we mentioned it that much. I've got it to show the listeners and the viewers because the listeners can't see it.
What you could have done, Gary, is you could have uploaded that onto here as well. It would have been even worse.
Yeah. So that arrow was pointing to Millsy and Gaza, which is two of our lads, as Sturridge is lobbing the infamous Tim Howard.
and I think that picture was taken just before John Stones had to go and have a poo. He left the pitch because he pooed his pants.
Not surprised with the frightening forward line we had.
Yeah, obviously 4-0. Wasn't that the biggest derby win at the time for I don't know however many years? It was
Martinez got sacked shortly after it, didn't he?
Oh, did he get sacked just after that game? Yeah. I mean, it's one of them, isn't it? That guys like you remember them little moments, but that one like Gerrard scores the first goal and he's running, in that red kit with the yellow writing that we had that year, and he's running towards the corner. He's proper made up, isn't he? Getting that
right
first
in front of the Everton fans, giving it to them, as he likes to do, as we know.
Sturridge got 2, didn't he?
Sturridge got 2 and missed a penalty in the same game to get his hat-trick. Ballooned it over the bar. And then Suarez, to be fair, we were 3-0 up in the first half, and it just looked like it was just going to be a ridiculous outcome. It could have been, a silly scoreline. And then even second half come out, I think Suarez scored like pretty much straight away in the second half. Jagielka was tried to do a square ball, didn't he? And he cut it out and just ran the length of their half and slotted it past the keeper.
And just slotted it, yeah.
And from that, you're thinking 4-0, it's only, I think it was like 47 minutes straight after half time. It's like, this could just be an absolute embarrassment. This, not like 4-0 isn't, but,
it's a bit like this season, where we sort of felt a bit sorry for them and took our foot off the gas.
I actually remember half time in that game, and then how I felt at half time. That was like, as you say, we hadn't won Anfield for a while, but it'd never been that bad. It'd never been like getting battered in the first half like that.
Or out.
And I remember just feeling proper deflated at half time. Like you say, it was like could be 6 or 7. This really worrying. I remember it well.
We were obviously about a week ago a week or two ago. It was possible. There was potential. It was potential that Martinez was getting the job. And we look back at games like that, don't we, and go, "There's no way you can allow him to take charge of this club again." The points he got that team to, which were half decent players, weren't they? I mean, you're looking at that clip there. Obviously, John Stones ends up going to City for an astronomical amount of money. He wasn't a great defender at the time. He was far from a great defender at the time, John Stones, but Martinez made him 10 times worse than he actually was.
You're trying to play like this really cultured player from the back sort of game, really. He ain't good enough.
No, I mean, it was just possession with no purpose. They never knew what they were doing with it. They were just keeping the ball for keeping the ball safe. We used to always dominate the possession stats, but we do nothing with it.
Yeah,
and then we lost it.
But yeah, obviously a nice memory this week in history, 2014, 4-0.
And here's me promising the listeners it's going to be a more upbeat.
I know when you were saying that at the start, I was thinking, oh, you don't know what's in store here. You're definitely not covering the same game.
So kids, now you can go mug off your dad.
Because he's played Z-Cars. Okay, we'll leave that behind us then. We'll move on to true or false, which is, I can't promise the Evertonians more optimism on this one because I've kind of took some stats from what's going on at the moment. I'll start with so again, pretty obvious from the title. I'm going to give you either a statistic or some information, and you guys have got to decide whether that information is true or false. And in the vein of I think it's Phil's rules or Millsy's rules. In order for you to be gifted the right answer, you need to tell me why it's true or false. And that might be difficult in a couple of these, to be honest. So I might just give you the benefit of the doubt. So we'll start with I'll come to the Reds first. So I'll do it the same as Gary's just done. I'll come to the Reds first. You can tell me whether it's true or false. Pricey, I'll go to you. Just for the benefit of Pricey's answer, Reds, don't maybe tell him why it's true, because then it'll be pretty obvious. So I'll start with a Everton one. I've got two Everton ones and two Liverpool ones. So Everton have lost their last two fixtures at Goodison Park, and that's now 5 out of the last 7 games Everton have been defeated. But I'm lost here a little bit. Just bear with me. Part of me. I always went with higher all over them, which is not far off the truth. Was Everton's record under Ancelotti between January and March 2021, so almost a year ago, was worse than 5 out of the last 7 home games being defeated? That's a really long-winded way to say it. So
Ancelotti's 7 games, did he lose 5 and out of 7? The same.
Yeah, so in the run of fixtures between January and March, Ancelotti lost the same amount of fixtures as we have in the last 7. Is that true or false, Terry and Gary?
I'd say false, because there's no way that he had that bad of a run, surely. You all proper loved him when he was the saviour.
Yeah, they didn't have a good home record though under him, and behind closed doors they were better away, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think they lost it. Did they withdraw in a lot of games? Don't think they lost them all.
You going with false then?
I'd say it's false.
Okay.
Pricey?
I'll go for I know we were doing well until I think it was January time, and then February we sort of dropped off. But losing 5 out of 7 seems extreme. I'll go false.
These are both incorrect. That was actually true. So Ancelotti actually lost 4 games on the bounce, which equals a Premier League record for Everton at Goodison.
Wow.
The previous record dated back to 1997-98, which I'm sure you remember, Pricey, we almost went down that year.
Yeah.
We were saved on the last game against Coventry. So no points for either team there. Okay, second one now. I've actually just gave you the answer to me next one. I'm telling you the answers to that one. It's a Phil.
Tell you what, Phil Roberts smashes this normally, doesn't he?
Okay, all right. Let me just pluck one out of the air instead. Then.
Just do it on a tiebreaker on the final one, Judge.
What?
Just do one more, a tiebreaker one.
Yeah, go on.
Right, okay. I've actually, and the mad thing is, I've actually got 3 Liverpool ones, so I may just have to throw them out. Though it's not going to be fair, is it? This is a disaster.
No,
This
exactly.
needs
Save them for next week. Just do a clincher now and then save them for next week.
Just pick one Liverpool one. Just go with that.
Go on.
Next
Right.
goal, the winner.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so in the last, this is focused on penalties because obviously you got a very dubious penalty yesterday. So since 2018-19, Liverpool have had 25 penalties. The only player to miss a penalty in that period of time is Mo Salah. True or false?
Is that to Pricey first or us?
Me first.
For Pricey, yeah. So that's over the last one.
I think I'm going to go false, and I know a reason why, whether I'm right or wrong, but I'll say false. Do you want me to give me the reason why I think it's false?
Go on.
Or do you just want to go
No,
first?
Wait for us. Should we go first? I think it's false because I don't think we've had that many penalties.
I don't think we've had that many, but I think other players other than Salah have missed as well.
Yeah, I don't, because I think Milner takes them. I can't remember him missing.
Before you do confirm your answer here, that's probably a fair point to say. This is in the Premier League. There's a lot of penalties.
No way we've had how many? 25 penalties.
25 penalties since.
It's not going to be far off it because he wouldn't throw out a mad number, would he? But I wouldn't have thought we've had 25 penalties in 4 seasons.
Since 2018.
False because we haven't had that many penalties.
Or going false. I think it's false because I'm sure Alexander-Arnold missed a pen somewhere along the line. Am I wrong in saying that?
These are once again both incorrect. So Liverpool since since the start of the 2018 season, have had 25 penalties. You've scored 23 of them, and you've missed 2. Mo Salah's missed both of them.
Wow.
That was via the same source that you had before, Gary, via Transfer Market. So it allows you to click on the penalties that were missed, and it shows you what game it was. Mo Salah who missed both of them.
Oh.
There were other missed penalties in that time, but they were in other competitions.
Yeah,
Missed one, I think, in like the Champions League or the League Cup or something, and I think Trent might have missed one in the Cup actually. Pricey, that may have been. Okay, so so it's a blue win this year. This week.
Judgy's head's gone here. Blue wins got them all a flap. He's a mess.
I think my youngest wanted to play the quiz, and he's fuming that there's only one Everton question. So the Blues, partly due to my poor response to the question before, I've got the victory this week. So you can put Z cars on for the change and celebrate.
Just get your kids again.
Yeah.
The cheap victory. It's a hollow victory, that one, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah.
It's like Craig Pawson on the VAR.
But yeah, that's about all we got time for on Game On this week. Thanks everyone for listening. You'll be glad to know Phil will be back next week to sort that quiz out. I can't believe we credit and quiz with Phil with some with something positive for the change as well. Okay, well, thanks again anyway, and we'll catch you after the international break. We'll be back on the Monday before the fixtures back on, so it'll be fairly swift, isn't it? Or we'll have to get on that episode really quickly to hit our previews for that one. Everton travel to Newcastle and Liverpool at home to Leicester. Okay, enjoy the international break. We probably will for a change. We'll be enjoying watching the international fixtures. But thanks again, everyone. Take care.